There is something happening in Virgo's sky today that most horoscope videos will completely gloss over. A moon square Mercury is quietly testing every close relationship you have, while a second lunar shift promises to hand you the exact perspective you will need to fix it. If you are a Virgo, today is not a smooth ride, but it is an unusually honest one. The bigger picture. Today's chart centers on one moving story. The moon travels through Aries, then eases into Taurus, and along the way it forms a 10th square to Mercury. In Western tropical terms, that Aries moon sits in your 8th house of shared resources and intimacy, while Mercury holds your 11th house of friendships and community. A square between these 2 points means the planet of feeling and the planet of thinking are pulling in different directions. Practically, that tension shows up around money, trust, or unspoken expectations, especially in group settings or close partnerships. Vedic astrologers, working with a slightly different zodiac framework, echo this same signature through the Pisces moon, which tends to soften Virgo's usual analytical armor and pull you toward home and family instead of spreadsheets and deadlines. 2 systems, 2 lenses, 1 shared message. Today asks you to feel your way through something that logic alone cannot solve. Later in the day, the moon crosses into Taurus and lands in your 9th house of perspective. This is the release valve. What felt urgent and tangled in the morning starts to look manageable by evening, once you have had room to zoom out. Love, that Moon-Mercury square does not spare romance. Shared concern, maybe about money, maybe about where you both stand, can tip into a spiral if you let assumptions fill in the blanks. The instinct to correct the wording of an argument rather than address the feeling underneath it is strong today. Resist it. You may have noticed a pattern where precision starts to feel safer than vulnerability. Here is the shift worth remembering. Accuracy is useful, but honesty matters more. Ask directly what is being offered, owed, or expected instead of quietly diagnosing the whole relationship from one clumsy text. Once the calmer Taurus moon perspective settles in later, you will likely find the practical next step without needing to overcorrect or over-apologize. Career. This same square does not stop at romance. It slides straight into your professional circles, too. If you are navigating a shared project at work, university, or even an unpaid role, you and a collaborator may simply be building from different blueprints. The Western reading suggests this is less about who is right and more about co-authoring a workable structure. Think of 2 architects sketching the same building from opposite ends. Neither drawing is wrong. They just have not been laid side by side yet. Expect this to take some trial and error. The old, independent way of doing things might need to bend, not because it was flawed, but because collaboration by nature requires a new map, one only the 2 of you can draw together. Reserved Virgo caution has its place, but today it might be costing you a genuine connection with a key group of people. You have done your research from the sidelines. The insight now available only comes from stepping in and sharing something real about yourself. Money. Financial tension is where the square bites hardest, and it is worth pausing here. Shared resources, whether that is a joint account, a group expense, or a loan between friends, sit at the heart of today's Aries moon placement. Disputes around money often masquerade as disputes about love or loyalty. The energy today leans toward misreading one for the other. If a financial disagreement arises with someone close, try empathy before critique. You might be surprised how far a simple thank you travels in diffusing tension at work or in a shared financial matter. The instinct to nail down exact numbers or precise wording can be a way of avoiding the emotional core of the issue. Notice that and choose the harder, more honest conversation instead. Health. Here is what makes today genuinely worth paying attention to. The same square that is straining your relationships is also quietly recalibrating your coping mechanisms, and most people will not clock the connection until it has already helped them. Small, previously unconsidered habits, a walk, a specific playlist, 5 minutes of quiet, may prove more restorative today than anything you would normally reach for under stress. The nervous system does not need grand gestures right now. It needs recognition. Some Vedic practitioners may recommend Saturn-related remedies, such as specific gemstones or mantras, for individuals whose birth charts support them. This is not universal advice. Gemstone prescription in Vedic tradition requires a full chart analysis, so treat any color or stone suggestion today as a gentle option rather than a prescription. Wearing blue, for instance, is a safe and simple way to invite calm without needing a formal consultation. Emotionally, this is a day of quiet self-observation. Take a breath here, because the real work today is not external. It is noticing what actually soothes you versus what you have simply been told should. Home and family. As the moon later shifts into Pisces territory in the Vedic frame or eases toward Taurus in the tropical one, both traditions point toward the same pole, home. You may feel drawn away from work stress and toward the people who know you best. This is worth honoring rather than resisting. If you have been meaning to reconnect with family, today supports it. Warmth offered now tends to be remembered longer than warmth offered during easier weeks. A shared meal, an unhurried phone call, or even floating the idea of a future trip together can strengthen bonds that daily busyness usually crowds out. Picture an old photograph on a shelf, slightly dusty, waiting for someone to pick it up and remember why it mattered. That is the energy of today's domestic pull. Travel in spirit. If travel is on your mind, even loosely, today rewards a small dose of practical diligence. Confirm baggage policies, double-check details before you romanticize the trip itself. It is a minor task, but it mirrors the day's larger lesson. Verify the facts before you build a story around them. Spiritually, this is a day for stepping back rather than diving deeper into analysis. The ninth house perspective arriving later is not about gathering more information. It is about trusting the wider view once you have it. Many people with this kind of lunar transition report a sense of relief once they stop trying to solve everything in the moment and simply let the bigger picture settle. Lucky signs. Today's supportive color trends toward gold or warm golden tones, particularly if you are leaning into family connection, while blue offers a calming undertone if you are focused on relationships or new social connections, including online dating for single Virgos. The window between 4 and 5 in the afternoon carries a specially favorable current, worth using for important conversations or quiet reflection. Compatible energy today favors those who value directness over diplomacy, since Virgo's usual tact may need to take a back seat to honesty. Tay's guidance. If today has felt like two conversations happening at once, one about facts, one about feelings, that is not a coincidence. It is the chart. The square asks you to notice when precision becomes a hiding place, and the later shift into calmer territory rewards you for stepping back before reacting. The real invitation today is simple. Choose honesty over accuracy when they conflict. Choose connection over caution when caution has already had its turn. And when the noise settles this evening, trust the quieter, wider view that follows. That is the story written into today's sky, and it is one only you can finish.